Sleep Hacking with London Rio, brought to you by Bulletproof. Learn how to hack your sleep.
Rou, I always ask everyone who sits here a question at the end of the show, and I'm going to ask you the same.
Okay.
If you could make a phone call to the 20-year-old Rou Reynolds and give that young man a bit of advice, what would you tell him?
I guess it's difficult to think of something that's going to appeal to most people. I could tell myself things like, don't worry so much and don't be such a hypochondriac. I think that would help me. It's going to be okay.
Were you a big worrier? Were you about your own success?
I guess to a certain extent everything. Like, again, it's just like a bit of a ball of sort of nervous energy and not good at meeting people. Worried a lot about, as I say, about sort of my own ailments. Like, am I getting this? Am I getting that? And a bit sort of, I don't think I was selfish, hopefully not, but yeah, I guess I was very caught up in my own worries, and maybe just to sort of just tell myself, look, it's going to be okay. Relax, take a deep breath, and maybe meditate, start that off young. That would probably help you out.
Do you do that now?
I'm trying to get into it. I do find it hard, but I think it's finding the right teaching and resources, I think.
Yeah, it's hard to do. It's hard to keep up. What I've been doing lately is I wake up in the morning and I brush my teeth, and then I go right back into bed and I sit up at the end of the bed and I do my 20, 25 or 30 minutes of meditation then.
Okay, yeah.
So like it's part of my whole process in the morning. And that's when I find I make sure I get it done.
Yeah.
And I think meditation's weird. I think it's something that if you do it for a month or so, it gets you in a really good state where you can control your brain more than you think you can. But if you stop doing it, you might not miss it right away, but then you'll find that, you're making more impulsive decisions, or you're doing this kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's weird. I read a book one time and someone described you being in control of your body is like a rider on an elephant. And you can kind of like tell the elephant to go left and right and slow down. But if the elephant really wants to go, eat the fruit tree, then it's going to go. So what meditation does is it allows you just to be a little more in control of that elephant, of your physical, animal self, by doing that. So anyways, I wish you luck with that adventure.
Cheers.
The second part of that advice question is, what's the best advice you've ever received as a person or as a musician?
Oh, man. I mean, there's so much. Questions that involve specific memories, I'm rubbish at.
Well, what about good? What's some of the good advice you've gotten over the years? Did the label actually end up giving you any good advice, or did you learn something from them when it came to the business or touring or anything?
I mean, as I say, we learned a lot about the business in terms of it taught us a lot about ourselves and our way of creating. And I think the only way of creating it has to be. You have to be absorbed in it, and if you want to go down some route, you've got to be free to be able to go down that route. You can't be sort of restricted by some sort of hierarchy or bureaucracy or something. So,
do you think the fact that they gave you some notes on some of your songs, do you think that in a weird way changed the song to where you probably made it even more so?
I bet it did.
It did, right?
So I mean, that's
so even when you measure the environment, you tamper with it a bit.
Yeah, the old punk mindset will come in. Is he trying to tell me what to do? Right, I'm going to do the opposite of what he's saying what to do.
Right. So, but you're happy being independent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
okay. The last part of that question, you might have already answered it, is to the 20-year-old listening to us, who could be in China or Australia or South America. Like, what advice do you give to them in general? Maybe not if they just want to be a musician, but what advice do you give to them?
I think, actually, I guess this also is going to be useful for the last question. Just the best advice. It just finally came to me. I think to be interdisciplinary, I think that is probably the most important thing somebody can do, as in a personal thing for yourself and for the world. I think the more interaction between different areas of society and of education and just of everything, really. The more we interact, the more we know about different things, the more we'll see the connections, the more ways we'll bring people together. So I think that's a good. I think as well for your personal health, it's good to just be interested in lots of things, have hobbies, and I think it keeps the zest for life going. It keeps you enthusiastic.
So don't stick to one form of music. Mix that up. Mix up all your ideas, your hobbies, your practices, that kind of thing.
I think so. Yeah.
It's a good advice. And these days with the web, it's you don't have many excuses, right?
Yeah, exactly. Everything's there at your fingertips. Yeah.
It's weird because a lot of the people that listen to this show, especially when we first started doing it, like the first 6 months in, they would be like, we get messages and they're like, I live in a small town in Georgia. And he's like, and no one is having the conversations in my town about what you guys are talking about. We were talking about, who knows, ayahuasca or something like this. And they're like, it's great because I can listen to people having conversations that I'd like to have because they can't find it locally. So, there's no excuse these days.
Absolutely.
There's so much stuff out there. This week on London Real, we have astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I wake up every morning astonished that an astrophysicist can have 1.7 million Twitter followers. The cosmos is anything where it's a frontier of human knowledge of how the world works. There's so many forces that want to deny a scientific truth just because it conflicts with their ideology. I thought of myself, because I could wrestle, as sort of a defender of geeks. There is no teacher in any time in my life, from kindergarten through 12th grade and beyond, who ever would have said, he'll go far. And the act of finding out is the lesson, not the lesson itself.
On Sunday, London Real presents Neil deGrasse Tyson, Cosmos.
I'm happy to report that there's an appetite for the cosmos out there.